Good morning, everyone. I'm Pastor Penelope, and I have the privilege of serving this wonderful community. Though originally from California, I now find my home here in Tokyo. Today, let's explore the topic of breaking the wall. Recent events have spotlighted how physical and metaphorical walls divide us. We're all aware of the tragic conflict between Israel and Hamas. High walls encircle the Gaza Strip and build barriers of misunderstanding, fear, and hatred. Physical walls become symbols for other, less visible walls in our minds, societies, and hearts. We can't overlook the walls that divide us socially, culturally, and psychologically. Social walls segregate us based on race, religion, or economic status. Cultural walls make it hard to understand, let alone appreciate, the diversity that enriches our world. Psychological walls, built from fear and prejudice, prevent us from embracing others as children of God. These walls are as natural as the ones made of bricks and mortar. Breaking these walls serves a larger purpose than achieving peace on a political or social level. It fulfills the second greatest commandment in Christianity, as mentioned in Matthew 22 verse 39, love your neighbor as yourself. This commandment leads us to dismantle the physical walls that keep us apart and tear down the barriers in our hearts that prevent us from loving freely. Doing so creates room for empathy, respect, and peace on multiple levels. If we are to follow the commandment, love your neighbor as yourself, we must recognize that our neighbors are not just the people living next door. Our neighbors are also those separated from us by physical walls and borders, social norms, cultural differences, and even the walls we build in our minds out of fear or prejudice. So, how do we go about breaking these walls? Firstly, let's talk about physical walls, like the walls between countries or territories. While we may not have the power to physically dismantle these barriers, we can lobby for policies that promote open dialogue and mutual understanding. We can support organizations that build bridges between divided communities. Secondly, there are social walls. Discrimination based on race, gender, religion, or social status is a wall that divides humanity. You can break down these walls by being aware of your biases and taking steps to correct them. Support equal opportunity in your community and workplace. Stand up against discriminatory practices, volunteer at shelters, food banks, or schools that serve underprivileged communities. Cultural walls can be tricky, as they often come disguised as traditions or the way things have always been done. To break these walls, educate yourself on the beliefs and practices of different cultures. Take a genuine interest in learning about others. The first step could be as simple as trying new types of food, participating in a cultural festival, or even reading literature from another part of the world. Lastly, the psychological walls are here. These are the most difficult to dismantle because they exist within us. It's easy to form an us versus them mentality, to see the world as divided between people like us and those who are not. But if we take time to reflect on why we think the way we do, we can begin to dismantle these internal barriers. Practicing empathy is vital here. Put yourself in another person's shoes. Listen to their stories. Share your own. The walls within you will start to crumble. So you see, loving our neighbor as ourselves is not just a commandment to keep in mind but a call to action. It's an ongoing process of breaking down the walls that separate us to create a world where everyone is treated with the love, dignity, and respect they deserve. May the love of Christ empower us to break every wall between us and our neighbors. May we be the builders of bridges in a world full of walls. May peace and unity prevail in our hearts and our communities. Amen.